photographer in all of Photography 1, and he is playing at Middlebury next year. Please welcome Nikky.
It was a Thursday afternoon on the island, and I was on my way to the gym after a long day of school and practice. I got a text from my dad saying, "Call me, I have news." I immediately called him, as he never sends me this type of text. He gave me the message about my best friend from junior tennis, and I didn't know how to respond. I didn't think it was true. The kid who never drank a can of Coke or ate candy, and the one who always went to bed at 8 p.m. every night to get a minimum of 9 hours of sleep, had just been diagnosed with a brain tumor. It was a grade 4 glioblastoma multiforme. Many thoughts were filling my mind as I tried to make sense of what had just been said. My first instinct was to FaceTime David, as I wanted to make sure he was doing okay. When he answered, I was overwhelmed with the positivity he was displaying, sitting in a hospital bed just being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Good morning, Mom, Dad, coaches, faculty, students, and especially the class of 2023. This morning, I want to share how David's journey influenced my mindset in 3 ways. First, to be more grateful. Second, to be more diversified. And third, to always be respectful to others. Over the ensuing months, David found the light in anything he could, whether it's hanging out with his friends, going to watch college tennis matches, or watching his favorite NBA team. He found a way to stay happy in the midst of doctor visits, chemotherapy, and MRI scans. David's attitude reflects a favorite quote from Tony Robbins, who said, "Trade your expectations for appreciation and your whole life changes like that." David's illness has made me more grateful to be healthy, a lesson in gratitude that was recently tested. Just 4 months ago, on a crisp morning as the sun was rising, I just finished a nice early morning run. I just wanted to better myself and have that extra ounce of endurance I needed on the tennis court. I was minding my own business, waiting for my coach to pick me up, breathing in the morning air. I turned to the right, and suddenly, a cyclist flew by and hit me right in my face. It ripped a hole above my upper lip right through to the inside of my mouth. At first, I was just shocked. What was happening? Why did this happen? What if it was wrong? Why me? I cried as all these thoughts flew in my mind in a matter of seconds. But in a couple of hours, my coaches and parents got me to a plastic surgeon in Savannah, which is usually impossible in such a short time. I was stitched up, and now I'm good. However, because of doctor's orders, I lost 2 weeks of court time, and my game really suffered. I was scheduled for my first international tennis tournament just 3 weeks after the injury, but I flamed out in the first round, not something that I had expected at all. It was not fun, but when I look back, I realized that I could have been knocked to the ground and had a head injury. I could have been knocked off that bridge, or I could have sustained a neck injury with the force of that impact, but none of that happened. Instead, I have a unique scar of character and a story to tell instead. I replaced anger and frustration with gratitude. Another lesson I quickly learned is that I can't put all my eggs in one basket. Once again, I never know what can be thrown my way, so I always have to have a backup plan. Whether it's a sport I play or an activity I spend the majority of my time with, I have to have another hobby or interest that I can turn to. And of course, academics is of primary importance in my life despite my passion for tennis. I've recently committed to Middlebury College, so I have fulfilled my dream of playing collegiate tennis, but I'm obviously not going pro. So to put 100% of my time and energy into tennis is fool's gold. I have to also look towards my future career by making the right decisions this year and for the next 4 years of college. How many talented kids play on concrete basketball courts across America, developing unbelievable skills, dreaming of life in the NBA only to have their dreams crushed for whatever reason? They possibly gave school and studying too little importance, and they probably had no backup plan. Diversifying my time and talents also makes me overall more well-rounded. Having the ability to pick up or learn new things is a great trait to have, and is something David is doing. I've definitely learned to take on new challenges myself. Some of these include becoming a better writer and becoming more comfortable in the world of higher math, such as the calculus I'm studying. Doing this has led me to feeling more accomplished on and off the tennis court. As we mature and keep learning and aiming higher, I want to always stay fulfilled and happy mentally. In pursuit of achievement, I don't want to forget the art of fulfillment. This reminds me of Robin Williams, who achieved so much as a comedian and actor. He could get an audience of thousands to laugh so hard that their stomachs hurt, but still somehow wasn't fulfilled once he became overwhelmed with Lewy body dementia, and sadly, he's no longer with us. Finally, I learned to always show people love and respect no matter who they are. You never know what someone is going through. From calling and texting David to trying to play tennis with him when I'm home, I realized that doing good deeds and showing that you love everyone can go a long way in making others feel happy. It really doesn't take much effort at all. Something my father always said about relationships is, always follow the golden rule of treating others as you would have them treat you, no matter their station in life. No matter how trivial someone's job may seem, they are working for a living and deserve respect. This is not only a good thing to do to make others feel warm, but it also makes us feel content if we go out of our way to perform simple, caring acts. For example, I like to give attention to the younger kids at Smith Stearns and show them love when they go through the same things I went through previously, such as balancing a heavy workload at school with troubles on the tennis court. Just because they are 4 or 5 years younger than me doesn't give me a reason to think I'm better in any way. Give with no expectation, and the gifts keep coming back. According to an article in Research in Organizational Behavior, stress is contagious, but so is happiness. In other words, humans unconsciously mimic the behaviors, posture, and facial expressions of those they spend a lot of time around. They certainly mimic stressful behaviors, but why not mimic happy behaviors? Hearing the news of David was not only the worst shock I've ever felt, but it was also the best realization I've had. It made me a better person by solidifying the way I've already learned to live and taught me even more life lessons. The lessons I took away are to remain positive and grateful, to diversify your interests, to show respect towards everyone, and remember the importance of work and healthy fulfillment. 10 months after the worst phone call I've ever received, and 4 months after my freak accident, I replaced panic with perspective. Thank you.
Great job, Nikki. And we have had a long time waiting for this speech because it was originally scheduled for one of our hurricane days, I believe, right? It was. But it does my heart good to see. I remember when you first came here and who you are now. What an amazing journey it has been. Ms. Abrams, do you have a question for Nikki?
I do indeed. Thank you, Mrs. O'Browning. Excellent job, Nikki. Okay, deep breath. Here we go. It's a long one. Okay. In your speech, you noted how David's attitude reflects a favorite quote from Tony Robbins, who said, "Trade your expectations for appreciation, and your whole life changes like that." Dr. Jeremy Sherman, however, noted in an article in Psychology Today that a new MRI study from the University College of London indicates that the secret to happiness is low expectations. Rob Rutledge, a neuroscientist, says it rather concisely: have higher expectations if you want improvement, and lower expectations if you want contentment. To what extent do you agree with this theory about being cognizant of an aspirational gap or expectation management?
Such a long question.
I know.
No, I think I really like the part you said in that question that was like, if we see things as better than like what we expected. Like for me personally, I think if I set, too little of goals, I tend to be like lazy, procrastinate. But, if I set tougher, loftier goals, I feel like, even if I don't achieve it, I really feel like I'm gonna work a lot harder for it, and whether that's like 65, 75%, just seeing that progress just shows that, I've seen the work I put in. And then I feel like just overall progress is happiness. And I feel like that connects also to tennis. Like, Stan always tells us every day, like, it's kind of not possible to put 110% in every day, but if you can put in like 80% every single day, we'll definitely see that progress. Whether, I don't like looking at results because that will, make me more stressed. If I just look at that progress day by day, it makes me more content and just happy going forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, after the freak accident, honestly, like, I can make fun of myself too. I was looking kind of funny. Coming into school with that big lip, Will was making fun of me. It was definitely funny, but if you look back, like I said, so many worse things could have happened, At the end of the day, I could still come to school, learn. I saw the tennis guys having fun. At the end of the day, it's not the worst thing that could happen. Even with David, seeing him like every day, and he's like one of the happiest kids I've met. Going through such a thing like that, it makes my thing look really small. So just looking in the bigger picture, it's not really a big issue. And I'm fine now. So.